Yeah, we're waiting for Ron.
Yeah, the recording just started, Ron. Go ahead.
We all have to put in the PIN number?
No,
I don't think so.
I got it.
Just the administrator.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, in continuing to brand ourselves, I just thought that if we did this, did have the conversation. The conversation, this is the start of many, I hope. But this conversation should be just totally about how we all met each other, and then how we all have, because we all have had gotten an invested interest in this event. So let's start the narrative, by having this conversation. Then we play it on throughout the day, 4 or 5 times throughout the day, and so people just continue to hear it, because we probably have new listeners every day, hopefully. If that makes sense.
Yes, sir. You're the maestro. You're gonna make it interesting.
Well, we're all gonna, because this is our story, and we keep saying that this is our story, and it's time that people hear our stories, and because we were the people who had the most significant things happen. For instance, with me and Diya trademarking the name. With Rick putting it into the merchandise into the store, with TOMMIE developing the concept of website, and with our new addition, Mr. Zimmerman, we all have this connection, and we should exploit that, right?
Well, I
it's
think
a story.
That's right, and this was in 92 or 93 that we got the. Change the C to a K, Ron. Was that, do you remember that year? I believe it was 93.
93,
yeah. In 1993, we took the initiative to go down to the state of Georgia, State House, I guess you would call it.
Secretary of State.
Secretary of State. And we initiated a trademark for the name Freaknik itself, to change that C to a K. So that was in 93. And I think that's when we came up with the concept of College Superfest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, that concept was totally based on the fact that Freaknik only happens in Atlanta, but College Superfest could travel around the country. So, but that's the whole point. That's what I'm talking about. The things that we did. I mean, who thought about stuff like putting merchandise into a store? Nobody was thinking on that level. Or the website, TOMMIE, and
Yeah, most of the vendors were on the streets of Atlanta selling T-shirts and whatnot, right? Hats and whatnot. Yep. But there was nobody tagging it, like getting what do you call that number, Rick? That scan code or whatever that is, UPC code on a T-shirt, putting it into a marketing situation with a major retailer or something like that. I think Target or somebody. You went out there?
Yeah, I had the shirts put into the Target, and they ended up getting my own Target account. At first, it was Bob Thompson that set us up to put it into the Target stores, and then that was in 95 and 96. Then we went on and put them in, we put the shirts in the Target stores. We ended up getting our own Target account.
Yeah, see, very important things, man. But at the same point, I think the reason we did, you and I even thought about that trademark is we seen the value of merchandise.
Right.
And then I did research, man. I seen that the Super Bowl had sold $1 million in merchandise even before the game was played.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, we have something that is just as valuable. And that led us to go to Bob Thompson. And that was so crazy because we had to convince this old white guy to sell the most controversial merchandise for the most controversial event that had ever been in Atlanta. Tommy, I think you remember, you were with me with that, right?
Yeah. I think the big point was that we realized the magnitude, the potential magnitude of this, and people were still thinking small, very small, like 1,000 shirts or 100 dozen shirts, or I'll be on this corner or that corner, and we were grasping the potential enormity of it.
Yeah, because Tommy, you put together the which was it? Tommy and your brother Ron put together that Freaknik.com website.
Well, we all had a part of like about 5 of us.
I had the concept of where I recognized that what was missing was something that could be provided by us, and that is to bring all the messages together, to bring all the communications together, to have a clearinghouse where people could share information and in turn be even more excited about coming to the city. Taking and answering questions for people. And no one had done that because, one of the things that we've written, how Ron got together the numbers, the dates of the origins of things like Reddit and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. What we did in '94, none of that existed. This was really the first social media platform on the internet. And that's what made the difference.
The funny thing about that is, Tommy, when you said it, the only thing I was thinking about was how expensive it was to try to promote Freaknik on a national level. And that we would have had to go into every city. The goal was to get the information out to them before they got to Atlanta. So the goal, and of course, like I said, the numbers would have been astronomical trying to go to every city and buy advertising and flyers and stuff. And so when you came up with that idea, like I said, in my mind, it was like, wow, who are we targeting? College students, and who have more access to the internet than college students. So let's get the information out to them before they get here, and then they become educated consumers, which brought value. Because, you guys, I think y'all remember when they used to say stuff like, well, those kids. And we had, Tommy, we had to change the narrative of that and not make them kids, but conventioners, and start tagging them as conventioners. They're coming into the city, they're bringing money, they're attending events, and they're going home. And that's what every convention does. And ironically, that's how we came up with the numbers of how much the economic impact was. I think, Diya, was it you and I that went to Catherine Bertrand at the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau?
Yeah, she gave us an idea of what a convention.
Yeah, the formula.
The formula and how they calculate what a convention is worth to Atlanta, the city, in terms of economic value.
And ironically, when she saw that, you know what she did? She went and shared that information with her crew, which was Dunn Rivers and Bill Campbell and what's the guy, Virgil Rabin, that was the general manager for the Georgia Dome at the time, and Munson Steve, and that's how they formed the Black College Spring Break organization.
Oh yeah.
Because they saw the numbers and they said, "Wow, these cats, they have no idea. They thought we had no idea what we were doing." But even at that time, guys, the most amazing thing is that when we added the numbers up, just based on their numbers, which was totally different from our numbers, but they based the numbers on how many rooms were sold in the city, how many hotel rooms were sold. That's how they got their numbers. Our numbers were way bigger than that because we know when we go to an event, we go to college students, and when I was in college, we would go and there'd be 10 of us in a room, not just one person in a room, which made the numbers wrong. And a lot of times when people came to the city, they came and they didn't stay in hotels. They stayed with friends and family, which made the numbers even bigger. And the most important thing is, guys, and I know y'all all remember this, sometimes we went to a city, like when we went to Mardi Gras, we ain't go to a hotel, we go to a family house, we just stayed in the streets. And those were all numbers that they calculated. When they calculated 500,000 people came to Atlanta, they calculated that based on how many hotel rooms were sold that weekend. Yeah. But when we calculated, we've added all the real numbers, which means their number, we were probably double. So when they said 500,000, we knew it was 1 million, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably how they came up with the wrong estimate for having the proper security, like the police and all that. Because
of course. Well, and I think that gets to a point where it's not so much, in my opinion, that they had their calculations were wrong. They just totally didn't get it. They just totally didn't understand it. You know, and so because they had a faulty perspective of the enormity of it, and also the complex things that needed to be done around it, then every attempt that they made to do something fell short. But they also were trying to prevent us from doing what, you know, if we had all sat down at the table together, it would be a different story.
You know, I remember, can I just say this? I remember when I first tapped into Freaknik at that time, it was going on in various locations around Atlanta. It just wasn't in one central location. And so how did it actually wind up being at Lakewood Fairgrounds, Ron? How did that,
Well, let me tell you. No, let me give you that story. You guys remember Matty Rich? Matty Rich.
Straight out of Brooklyn.
The little young, did straight out of Brooklyn. Well, after he did his movie, he made $8-9 million off his movie that he spent $200,000 on or something. Well, he had a younger brother who went to he was on the AUC. I don't know which college it was, either Clark Atlanta or Morehouse or maybe Morris Brown. And and I can't remember his brother's name, so that's why I have to talk with Ed Rucker to get his name, because I think that's important. But the guy convinced his brother to put up the money. He wanted to do a concert, a festival doing Freaknik. So his idea to upgrade it, to upscale it. So what he did was he went to Ed Rucker, who was at the time the biggest club promoter in the city.
Yep.
You know, the most successful club promoter in the city.
Club Excess. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Club Excess and all those clubs. Right. And so Ed Rucker went to Mark Howard for AE Sound and Lighting to do the sound. Now, Mark came to me to be the production manager because Ed needed a production manager. And the reason Mark had chosen us because Diya, you and I, you know, we had just finished the Atlanta Regional Rap Showcase.
Right.
And, you know, we had 20 acts a day. And as a stage manager, which was a crazy task, but we pulled it off.
You know what's
so
funny?
He came to me and said he had never seen that many acts on the course of a day and not one issue. Mm-hmm. Not one issue because, you know, like I said, I was doing some rotating, bro. You know, we kept that thing going so, and you know, but it was crazy. So he came to me and introduced me to Ed, and I had 2 weeks to produce Freaknik at Lakewood.
You know what's so funny, as a side note, Ron, not to cut you off, but when you mentioned the Atlanta Regional Rap Showcase during the time of Jack the Rapper, that was the same time that Rick had his company called Polaris Records, and they were doing they were doing Jack the Rapper, and I remember we had a caricature dude down in the hall, down in the this is a side note here, down in the lobby doing caricatures of various artists and radio station folk and all that. That was something. But anyway, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
And I just want to touch on something too, because these events is where we all tie in together, because I was doing production for Columbia Records at Jack the Rapper.
Oh,
and working with Mark and them. And Mark Howard called me up and said, listen, there's a project happening at this place called Lakewood Fairgrounds. I really wasn't familiar with Atlanta that much, and I had never been there. He said, I want you to go down there, and I'm telling them I'm sending you down there. I want you to go talk with them. And that was Ronn Greene. And I stood on the stage. And I was awestruck by what I saw, 10,000 people in front of me.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, I've come out of New York City. I've done big events. I've done inside and outside big events. And I said to myself, why I've never heard of this? I ain't seen nothing this big in New York City. And what year that was? 92? Was that whatever that year was that, you know, we first
It was
met?
92. And let me tell you the crazy thing about that is, because Ed wasn't a festival promoter.
No, he was a club promoter, yeah.
He was a club promoter. And I always say, you know, club promoter is not a concert promoter. Concert promoter is not a festival promoter. You know, but a festival promoter can probably do concerts and clubs. Because they have advanced themselves to that level. Cool. Now, the saddest thing that happened is, because they were so cheap, they did not put a top on the stage that year. There was no top. And guess what happened in April, guys?
It rained. Hey, was that prior to Luke coming there, Ron? Was that prior to Luke?
Oh, yeah, Luke did that. See, that was the next year. That was the next year when me and Christina Copeland co-produced Freaknik. But see, you learn from all those things. Now, the crazy thing was that first year is that, you know, nothing had changed. We had over 20, 30 acts that day. Now, not only was I was all over the place, you know, with all the other things that were going on in all those different buildings, but I still had to be the stage manager. Because, you know, the production manager, I wore a lot of hats, you know. But the crazy thing was that Ed Spivey came up during the night and said, Ron, I got to show you, come with me. And I said, man, I can't, you know, I'm still lining up acts and stuff. So I passed it on, so I don't know who the hell was it, Kevin Brewster. Kevin was on the stage with me. So I passed the list on to him so that because he was already coordinating, getting everybody up in the next in line. And Ed Spivey said, come and go with me. And then he takes me to the back of the firehouse, which was right behind, it was like our VIP section for behind the stage. And I don't know if the firehouse is still on their property. But when he took me back there, I got a little nervous, guy. I got a little nervous because I thought, why does this man want me to go to the back of this building with him? You know, I hope he was paid. You know what I mean? But he took me back and he said, look at that. And what we saw, guys, were from the backside of the which is not Screen Gems, but Lakewood Fairgrounds, you could see just a river of traffic, a river of car lights, something he had never seen, and he had been out there 20 plus years. And I'm sure all the concerts, they used to be there. But what he seen was a continuous flow of lights headed towards his property. You know, you guys, Tommy, you may say we had 10,000 people on the inside, but we had at least 40,000 people in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Just hanging out. Just hanging out. And
that's what point I was making about the story of Sisyphus, and the example that here it is obvious. Spivey sees the potential of this, and
exactly.
And Ron grasped the potential of this. The city should have seen it. The city should have. How in the world can something? Here's the thing: it should not happen that something this major can happen and nobody's paying attention to it. It took years for them to pay attention to it. And there was a whole problem of why it kept rolling back down the hill, because people didn't grasp the full potential of it, and people also just plain unscrupulous, sneaky, and greedy. And that's the story of Sisyphus, why it never worked, because it was obvious that this was something special unfolding, and it should have been. The answer to it should have been, how do we get on top of this? Because my gosh, if it just keeps growing, it'll be probably one of the biggest things that happen in the country.
Yeah, like
but
Lollapalooza or something.
That's not what they did. They dropped the ball, and then they ran interference on anybody picking it up.
And Diya, you know, when you say the word Lollapalooza, all of those things happened after Freaknik. Midtown Music Festival, let me tell you, that was Alex Cooley and what was the other guy? He had Cooley and his other part, Alex and Cooley. But they used to bring all the concerts to Chastain Park.
When he was over there off of Cheshire Road, I can't think of it. Alex Cooley and his partner. You know what I mean?
God, I can't think. And you know, I used to do a lot of the shows at Chastain Park. So they knew me, even though I was a stagehand. You know what I mean? They knew me and they followed. They always talked to me about Freaknik. You know what I mean? Those white guys, those promoters, and I did not realize at the time when they were talking to me, they were trying to figure out how to start Music Midtown, which was a whole nother level of stuff, because Music Midtown, I used to tell people that was a corporate event, meaning their sponsors paid for those big, giant 60 by 40 deep stages, which were 20, 30, 40 feet in the air.
Yeah.
You know, fully rigged with lighting and sound. 10 of them. And the concept was they gave each one of those stages to a radio station. So you had the V103 stage and all the other rock stages, which the rock stations had the biggest stages. But then the radio stations, yeah, but let me explain what happened, dude. So the radio stations went to the record companies, right? And the radio stations got the record companies to send out their acts. You know, who were working big projects. And so, you know, we kind of did the same thing at Lakewood.
No, it happened at Lakewood first.
Before.
And they took that model and ran with it.
Exactly, because, you know, the thing was, we were doing multiple stages. And also we went to the record companies too in 93.
Yeah,
Christina, we went to the record company, and we told the record company, we said, hey, y'all have any acts that y'all want to promote, new acts that y'all trying to promote? And then, of course, they said yes. We said, well, we got 60,000 people. Send them to us. Because we realized that they had a budget. You know, of course, Diya and Tommy, y'all record, and Rick record labels, you know, y'all know that they had a budget for marketing and promoting their acts and the music. So they sent us out all of these major. I told them, I said, listen, send us your the ones you're trying to break, but you gotta send us a headline as a draw. And we use that same pitch to every one of those record labels. and they took it. They bid on it, and they sent us all these acts, bro.
Yeah,
no charge.
Yeah, I remember.
And major acts were broken. National acts were brought out before the nation on the stages at Lakewood.
Yeah. Biggie was down
People
there.
like Escape.
Yeah,
Escape was there. Their name wasn't even Escape yet. 95 Soft did their videos, and Luke did his video. And H-Town, the first time they performed Knocking the Boots live before a massive audience, was out there. And what we realized was, after they did that they performed, and people loved that song, and then they went back to their respective cities, and they started saying, calling the radio station, saying, we want to hear Knocking the Boots. We want to hear Knocking the Boots. And that was a tool that Freaknik kind of developed. I don't know if people were doing it before us. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know.
Well, Ron, we know nothing like that happened before us.
Yeah,
I mean, do you point? There's nothing you can point to.
Not at the collegiate level, because, like you said, you had those festivals coming there, but it wasn't like most of those stages.
Well, I mean, yeah, not on any level. It wasn't happening before Freaknik was, what we were doing at Lakewood. I mean, I say, if you think so, tell me which one. I'm telling you, it wasn't none of that was happening before Freaknik.
Rick, did you know, Mr. Stevenson, did you know any record labels that were being solicited for artists?
Say that again.
I said, did you know any record labels that were being solicited for artists like we were doing?
It was some people doing some things, but it wasn't popular. It wasn't something that was popular. Yeah, but it was, you know what I'm saying, but definitely, you know what I'm saying, at that time, you guys was in the front of of the new trend.
Okay.
Because I remember,
we haven't forgotten about you, bro. We bringing you up to speed with you.
I'm paying attention.
Okay. Let me tell you the funny thing is, I tell people all the time, do y'all know the first time Biggie Small performed in the South was at Freaknik?
I know, but the world don't know.
Yeah, that's why on our website we got the video of him at Piedmont Park. You know what I mean? It wasn't at Lakewood, but he was here and he came down. And the crazy thing about this is in '94 when Tommy, we went into but after '93 they saw the potential of it, and we went to the city. And we went to the city after '93, and we said, we need help. We need help. You know what I mean? We know this thing is not going to get small. It's going to keep growing because we've seen it grow from '92 to '93. So going into '94, we went to solicit the city, and guess what the city did? That's when they began to put on the Freaknik Planning Committee, and they brought in a bunch of promoters. That was spread all over the city.
But see, now I'm gonna say
it was actually Freaknik and Jack the Rapper that actually molded Atlanta as the music mecca. That was the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jack opened set the stage, and Freaknik was the next level of evolution of it. And in my opinion, when we went to the city, it wasn't to say, I'm splitting hairs, but I'm not saying we went to the city and say, help us. It was the natural, most important thing the city could do was to become involved with what we were doing. And so the city didn't do it. The city there were people who were scheming and cutting, and I was there. I don't have anything positive to say about the city after Maynard Jackson and a little bit after Andy Young, you know, I mean, that was it. The city was not being a fair and honest partner or player or participant.
Well,
and that's part of what brought about the downfall of it, because when you start dealing with what a lot of people don't know about the significance of permitting, the permit process, and the role that plays, the city has got to be a major partner in this. And this is what they refuse to do. They refuse to be fair, straight shooters with us, and they have to explain that.
Well, you know, we knew personally that the city wasn't on our side with Lakewood, although Lakewood was the establishment of the new level of Freaknik. I know you all guys all knew that you know, they took the proposal that Tommy Butler wrote, went to Coca-Cola, presented it, received $100,000 in sponsorship. And then they dispersed that money. They offered Lakewood $27,000 of the $100,000. Of course, they took their event to the city of Atlanta with the group Virgil, Catherine, Bill Campbell, Munson Steve, Don Rivers. They went over to Piedmont Park like they thought that would be the crown jewel. But we knew Piedmont Park wasn't ready. They had already established the fact that they wasn't ready, because the year before in '93, there were two brothers who went to Morehouse. They were on AUC. I don't remember what school, and I think his name was Williams. But they went out in '93 and said, "Hey, flyers everywhere, free beer, Freaknik in Piedmont Park, free beer." That was the second year after we established it. Man, people showed up at Piedmont Park, totally unexpected by the city. You know, they did their thing in marketing, because people went out there. They went out there, and they went out there without a permit or event permit, without the city even knowing that they were going to be there, which overran that neighborhood. Now, that caused a lot of problems, because this is where you get all those people saying, "Hey, they were pissing in our yards." Where else? Because there was no porta johns. You know, there was no trash receptacles. They trashed that whole place, and that put a negative spin. That's the beginning of the negativity in Atlanta. Now, even though let me go here too. Even though they did that, the city of Atlanta short-sightedly thought that Piedmont Park was the best place for Freaknik. You had no parking spaces. They didn't realize that this thing was driven by people coming to the city driving cars. You know what I mean? They had an established MARTA transportation, getting out your cars. So again, by the second year, it would have been '94. By '94, the city was so embarrassed because Piedmont Park failed again. It may not have failed to us, but in the community, Piedmont Freaknik failed at Piedmont. And
okay,
now
I want to say something about it. I think you're being much too kind to the city in your interpretation, because I feel, and maybe it's because I come from New York City, and I don't want to be like I'm trying to be geographical, you know, but I'm saying they should have known, they should have grasped what was evident. Did you not send out people who study events, who look at trends, who go back and check the data about how many people are coming to the city, how many came last year, the year before? Ooh, the numbers are growing exponentially. There's no excuse for what they did, other than oh man, it sounds bad. They were like being country farmers trying to get into agribusiness without understanding business or agriculture. And so anytime something like this can happen right in their face, right in front of them, and they don't learn the first time and they don't learn the second time, and they just let it happen the way it happened, I cannot forgive them for that. I can't, I don't want to condemn nobody, but I want to tell it straight. They dropped the ball completely.
Can you forgive them for trying to steal Lakewood from us?
No, that's part of what I'm saying. That you tell them what happened with that, because to me they never were being honest, and they were acting like small time hustlers. I don't get it. They weren't being big city planners at all.
Let me ask you, Tommy and Ron. Now,
yes.
under Mayor Young, Freaknik was going down, right?
No.
Going down? How do you mean going down? What does that mean?
Well,
what do you mean by that?
Freaknik has been going on since '82. It's been going on since '82.
Yeah, since '82.
But it was never. It was so insignificant that you may have 5,000 people. 5,000 people show up at Johnny White Park, or one of those parks in the hood. You know what I mean? That it was a little crazy, but it was never significant enough, like to be noticed. They go out there, send the police out, because once again you had people that were doing events. College students were organizing events, and they weren't knowledgeable of planning festivals. So they would go out. They didn't go to the city and say we need to get a permit. We need to meet with the city council and the MPU, neighborhood planning committee. None of the things that we started to do.
Yeah.
So there was no knowledge of it. So you get people in the park, and then the police come out and say this is getting out of hand and run them away. That was the extent of Freaknik. But to a college student, you know how it is, guys. In the party till the police show up. So,
I want to address.
10 years.
I want to address, if I may, that your question in another way. You see, it makes a difference who the mayor is, and this goes for any city, but specifically for Atlanta and Freaknik. If Maynard Jackson had been the mayor of Atlanta, he would have had a different approach altogether. And the reason is he had a big world view about everything he put his hand on. That's why that airport is right there today the way it is. If Andrew Young or Bill Campbell or Kasim Reed had have been in charge with the building of that airport, it would still be a regional, funky, little, unimportant southern airport. It's an international world phenomenon because of Maynard Jackson's perspective. And if Maynard Jackson had been the mayor at the time of Freaknik, and not leaving before, that exposure, he would have said, wait a minute, because this is the kind of people he had around him. Wait a minute, let's sit down and let's bring me a report. What is happening? What's the potential of this? I smell growth. Yeah. And how can we get a handle on it? And do we, because what we found out is that the city, with the transportation issue, like I'm going to tell about what happened with the Olympics in 96.
Yeah, because they used
95
as model for that 96 Olympics, right?
And it's here's an example of what I'm saying about the perspective that the city has or doesn't have, because when the city announced that the Olympics were coming to Atlanta, and everybody said this is a joke. This little country town is going to be doing Atlanta. Everybody, even the television stations and newspapers, it's a joke. They can't do Atlanta. But then it was front page that this was a joke. This is a bad idea, bad mistake. Now, then they started saying, if they can't even do Freaknik, how can they do the Olympics? And I had an idea when I heard that this major world famous traffic engineering firm was going to do the plan for Atlanta's Olympics program. We went right to them and said, here's a newspaper article that says Atlanta can't handle the Olympics, and the proof is they can't handle Freaknik. We are Freaknik. We believe it can be done. So you work with us, develop the plan, and prove that it can be done, and everybody will be quiet. And then what they did was we literally worked with them, and they developed a plan that we were able to submit to the city about how to handle. Because guess what? On the weekend, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands. We had an exact number of how many parking spaces would be vacant during the weekend in downtown Atlanta. And how by parking cars at the MARTYR stations and transfer points that you could actually get on buses and trains and come downtown and hang the hell out and then go back out and get in your cars back outside of the city. All that was presented to the city. All that was given to Mayor Campbell. And that became the blueprint for the Olympics. But they didn't do Freaknik.
Wow.
Well,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
I come at this from a slightly different perspective than the rest of you guys, not as a promoter or in the entertainment industry. When Freaknik happened in Atlanta, I was in the corporate environment, going to work every day as the only black person in the white office, and just hearing people comment on Freaknik every single day, and driving the freeway and seeing Georgia State troopers on every bridge along the way. And what you talked about about how the city handled it, there were these many turf wars going on between Bill Campbell and Michael Lomax, I believe, and Cobb County, had their own little, separate fiefdom going on. And everybody was panicking over the fact that all these black kids coming to Atlanta, and they really didn't know what.
Your sound's going in and out. Bring your sound up.
Huh?
Your sound is going. Bring your sound back up.
Okay. Even Cobb County had their own little fiefdom, and Bill Campbell, I think he panicked because of all the neighborhoods that started complaining about the traffic and the kids, blocking, their parking spaces, and they had to have panicked to have called in Georgia State troopers and had them on every bridge, into and out of the city. So that the politics of it had a lot to do with how poorly it was handled.
Yeah, because I think by
I call that fear of a black planet.
Yeah, by 90, I think about 95, it was time for re-election, right? So Bill Campbell had to appease his people in Buckhead, and because the malls were being overran, and just the traffic jam throughout the whole city. And then, of course, people. Unfortunately, Freaknik happened during along the same time that proms were happening, which was a total. And I think that's one of the reasons we moved it. People don't realize that Freaknik used to happen the second weekend of April. We moved it in 94. In 94, we moved it to the third weekend. People don't know, and it's like changing the name from the C to the K. The things we were doing, people don't know, that those things happen. We moved this event. We totally just relocated it to another weekend. And ever since then, when it will happen on the third weekend in April. But now, once again, just forward thinking. So I got to get back to this guy.
That's the point, Ron.
I got to tell y'all the story. I got to tell you the story. I know y'all have heard it before, but this is for the audience. This is for Freaknik Nation that's listening to this podcast. After the city got the $100,000 sponsorship, and they offered Lakewood $27,000, but in that offer, and Tommy, I know you remember, it came with stipulations. And their stipulations were, and Rick, I know you're going to be able to chime in on this. They told us we couldn't sell Freaknik merchandise. We had to sell black college spring break merchandise in order, and we had to sign a contract that we would sell their merchandise at Freaknik at Lakewood. Now, fortunately, we had just did the deal with Impact Products. And Impact Products gave us a deposit, a substantial deposit, and plus 25% of sales. So it would have been crazy that that we were gonna go and bag out of something, because it was the first time that Freaknik had ever been licensed. Came from our campus. We were the ones to license Freaknik for the first time. And with Bob Thompson, and guys, if you guys don't know Bob Thompson on Impact Products, Bob Thompson owned the Peach Bowl. Bob Thompson supplied all of the college memorabilia merchandise for the SWAC. What was it? The SEC.
Ron.
Yes.
Yeah, Bob had 7 bowl licenses, but he had the exclusive for the Cotton Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, and he licensed about the other people. And he also the Tomahawk Chop. He that sponge thing that everybody was dealing with the Braves. He actually owned the trademark on that as well.
What?
Yep.
What? Bob Thompson was amazing, man, because he introduced products to Freaknik that he had on the shelf for a long time. It was the first time that anybody had did an all-over print. Bob Thompson had been waiting for an opportunity to introduce that, the all-over print. And the first time he used glow-in-the-dark ink. So he had a Freaknik shirt that would absorb light during the daytime, and the word would light up at night. Fluorescent. I had never seen anything like it before. He also did, I think it's probably the first time that we went to sweatshirts and caps. Before it was only T-shirts. Now the good thing was is that we were setting a trend. The bad thing was, even though we owned the trademark, we couldn't control the infringement. Couldn't control the infringement. Freaknik was out of control.
I know. Rick called me and it was asking me about the trademark situation. I was totally in the blind. I didn't know. And then when he was telling me about Bob with all the different bowls and stuff that he was doing, I was like, "You get him? Hell, I don't care." They ain't got no business with it.
Well, what comes from that story, you relate that bit of history, is one that there were other players that people don't know who were working with us, not with other people. They were working with us. And so we were on the right track. We were doing the right thing. And they are part of the story, like Ed Spivey and Bob Thompson and others. That
you can't forget about Larry Miller either.
Larry Miller. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Larry Miller. Let me tell you the story of Larry Miller. Larry Miller was the president of the Black Merchants Association. And I sought him out. Somebody put him on to me. He may have came to me.
Wow.
But, no, I had to go. I think I went to him because the thing is that after looking at all the year before and all the infringement that was happening, I said, I said, man, it's all saying, he who owns the most real estate wins. So I went out and got with the president of the Black Merchants Association because he had all the street vendors. And I said, if we get our product to the street vendors, we will be in more places because people would come in with a truck of T-shirts, sell them, and roll. We had to be in more places than anybody else. So developing that concept, Larry Miller was like, yeah. And, of course, when we took him into Bob, who he was probably trying to get with for a long time, that was a great connection. Like I said, one of the biggest things is that we couldn't control. See, I was trying to keep things like the Super Bowl. That was my model. And one thing I realized is that, like, when there's an event at the Georgia Dome, they control everything on that property. You can't come out there and sell anything without being ran away. It's illegal to sell that. Freaknik was a totally different animal because you can be downtown and somebody out in Stone Mountain, College Park in Riverdale, F.R.O, and they're selling T-shirts. You have no idea that they're selling them. But the T-shirt, Freaknik T-shirt marketing or the end of sales for T-shirts was just totally over the top. It was one of the most collected things among college students. Now, sadly enough, it's I went to those vendors, and Rick, I think you were there because we started sending letters telling them to cease and desist. We weren't trying to stop people from making money. What we were trying to do is get them to come aboard and start licensing from us, because as a unit, we will have an opportunity to go to the T-shirt manufacturers and say, listen, we're going to order 200,000 T-shirts, which would have brought the price down for not just us, but everybody. And that was I think that was the concept we had, right, Rick?
Well, it's a little different from that, but what we had was we knew that we could not control what was happening, and so we knew that the only thing that we could do was direct traffic. And so what we did was turn around and we did a cease and desist. We went to the Black Vendors Association meetings, and we told them that we were going to do, so this year we're enforcing the Freaknik license. I mean, and everybody got mad, and they said, well, how, I said, well, all you got to do is get a license, and y'all be able to sell the merchandise. I said, well, how much the license cost? I told them it was just $50. He said, oh, I'll buy one now. I said, no, come to my office, get with my associate.
You breaking up, Rick?
The card, come down and come on down, and I give you a license. And so when they came back, we would set up to sell merchandise, and so they turned around and they started buying merchandise from us. Because because for them to get it printed up, it was going to cost them more, and our designs looked at better. So therefore, they came to us and they spent money with us, the ones that did come. But the only thing we was trying to do was to bring money our way, because it was just really at that time it was just really out of hand.
Yeah. You see, to me, that what you just said, Rick, is an example of thinking on your feet. And so if we're on the cutting edge of something big, and it's always moving, the edge is always moving. You ride the edge, or you fall backwards, or you fall off of it in front of it, and it rolls over you, or it passes you as you fall backwards, and you got to struggle to get back on it. But if you ride it like a surfboard, and that's an example, you come up with a workable answer for people. Because my head thinking about that, as we were even dealing with that whole trademark thing, I saw the problem materializing in front of us about, vendors are there might be 2,000 people out there selling T-shirts, and you're not going to go out and give them all tickets or whatever. But the one answer to that is have something that none of them have. And if you want to have this, then you get it from us. And if you know, my whole thing, even talking with Bob used to get, I think, a little perturbed talking with me because I said, you know, don't make hats that look like hats the truckers wear. You know, make hats that have style to them. Make T-shirts. Don't make, you know, cheap looking T-shirts. Make heavy cotton T-shirt with a really terrific ink on it, and you know that people are gonna wear 10 years from now. They'll be wearing it, you know, or they'll wear that hat and they'll be dressing up in this stuff. That's the kind of thing that, you know, stay relevant and stay on the cutting edge, and you know that's the kind of thinking that only we. As hard as we couldn't do everything, we couldn't be everywhere, we couldn't stop people from doing whatever they were doing all over the goddamn city. That wasn't, you know, it really wasn't our ability to do that. So I always focus on how do I do better? What can we do that they can't do? Let's do that.
Well, I think it's a valuable historical lesson here in reference to what not to do going forward. I mean, right now, we know that this still is a viable property in terms of Freaknik itself. And I was talking to Ron, TOMMIE, and Zimmerman. I was talking to Ron earlier, and I mentioned it to Rick earlier too, about packaging Freaknik as a property and going out to I had coined a phrase called the Freaknik Party Squad, and you know, selling that to club promoters like a club date, taking it around the country or whatever. But I mean, that's something. It is a viable property at this point, and you know, obviously, a lot of people are still trying to put their hands around it. So, but it's really a valuable, you know, story that you guys have about Freaknik. You know, I mean, that we have actually about Freaknik and its origin. And I don't know. I just think that people listening to us tonight would definitely be able to understand the magnitude of what we were dealing with.
Yeah, Diya, you're absolutely right. Because me and Ron, we all up in federal court with Freaknik.
and that's the whole point of this thing is, guys, is that, you know, we it's time that we tell our stories, you know, and it comes from the people who actually produced it. We were the group that was moving the needle forward, and guess what? We still are. And the plans, what we have, Freaknik Nation, if you guys, we want you to tune in more and more, because we will be having these conversations, and you can only hear them on our Freaknik Radio, on our Freaknik.com.
Hey, kid, I wanted to say, Diya, that concept you just laid out, don't put it out on the radio, Ron, till it's in the bottle. You know, give it another. Yeah. I would like to know, Zimmerman, your perspective on designs.
On the design?
On designs, you know, just about your perspective on these things.
All I'm trying to do at this point is create you marketable product.
Sounding very faint right now.
Your sound's dropping out. Your sound is dropping out.
Okay.
Your voice is dropping out.
All I'm trying to do is create you a viable product line based on your logo. And I'm pulling ideas from just about everywhere I can think of, you know, that I know have worked in the past without copying them exactly. And I just throw designs at you, you know, as fast as I can come up with them, and it's up to you to decide which ones work for you and which ones don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have a lot of stuff that works for me, bro. I am going to start loading them into the store, and then I'm gonna start ordering them because, like I say, it's time. I don't wear enough Nike and Polo stuff at this point because this is my life. You probably won't ever see me anything but Freaknik gear. You know, you won't probably hear me listen to anybody else's radio station but our Freaknik radio. And visiting the website every day, our website, and to help keep it current. So we hope that the rest of you guys out there find this interesting and that you find that, you know, this is our Freaknik, and it's our Freaknik means it's ours, all of us. And there's this old saying, hashtag all minds on deck. And that's what it's going to take to go forward. And with that being said, guys, you know, we can't do everything in one night, and I hope that we can probably do this every Sunday if you guys are available.
Yeah, because, Ron, you know, we need to tell some of them crazy things that happened to us along the way.
Of course. That's the whole point of it. You know, we're going to share everything. These are our stories. You know, and nobody's heard our stories yet. You guys all know that because we don't show up. We don't show up in the media. You know, and it's all that, you know, the media seem to interview people that have a perspective. They have a perspective, but they don't understand the concept. They don't understand where we were going with this thing and what we'd like to see. You know, I got to say this. People would ask me, why was I doing Freaknik? And I tell them all the time. You know, because we were dealing with college students, black college students. And in my mind, they were the lawyers, the doctors, the judges, you know, the police chiefs, and the presidents of our future. And we had an opportunity to guide them or steer them in a direction to be more pro-black, to help develop our communities and, you know, bring their concepts to our, you know, people. So I know we're not the only one trying, but we may be the only one that succeeds, guys.
I got a smile when I hear you say that, Rod, because that sure is not all that I think you was thinking about at the very beginning about doing Freaknik. I always thought it was
you know,
yeah.
I was caught up. I was caught up, bro. I was, you know, the hype, you know, and like I say, and people will realize that Luke changed the whole dynamics. He changed the whole dynamics of the image of Freaknik. One person in one video. But I bet you guys don't remember this. Do y'all remember Evander Holyfield being a judge of the wet T-shirt contest at Lakewood?
No, I don't remember.
I'll never forget the fascinated, goofy look on his face as he stood on stage as those T-shirts got soaking wet with the what you call the guns, the water guns, super soakers. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! I wish I had a picture. Yeah, I wish I had a picture. I was like, oh my God, please don't let this be a Mike Tyson moment with the fashion show. What was it? The beauty pageant.
But that's why I'm saying we gotta ask people to send those pictures in. There are people out there who have that picture, have those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Send them in, post them on the website. Because people don't believe it until they see it. That's one of the things that we need to hit people with hard about. Send in your pictures and post them online. You know, we'll give you credit for your pictures.
Those pictures can only come from the alumni of Freaknik. You get what I'm saying? That's
why I'm saying you put it on the website. You got to ask for it. They may not even know you're looking for it. You got to ask them for it.
Well, actually, Tommy, if you go to the website, you know, on the memories page, that's one of the things that I put on a comment section that allows people to upload all of their memories, good, bad, and ugly.
I just want to ask you to bring it forward. We give it some more visibility and just ask people. You send in photos that you've taken or video that you've shot at Freaknik, and we'll put it online. That's simple.
And there's one place to come and see it all.
Yes. Yeah. I want them to know that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Listen, if you guys have photos that you know we have absolute copyright to, and you think they'd make a good T-shirt, send those to me too, and I'll incorporate the photos in the design.
Okay, so here, this sounds like something. I want to add something to that. So why don't we do a contest? So you submit your photos, and we're going to pick a photo or a series of photos for T-shirts, and we pick your photo, you will be, part of the process. You say, I'm not. I don't know how to do the words, but I'm saying you will motivate people to send it in. Imagine my photo will be on a T-shirt, and you get credit for it or whatever. I mean,
we can go one step further, Tommy. Just like when I'm gonna solicit a whole lot of designers. You know what I mean? Because right. The goal is to have more designs and more, than anybody else, and not necessarily the same persons, but because we got to mix it up. We got to come with all kind of flavors to meet the demand of all those consumers. When I'm approaching these designers and deal, because none of this would be in the thing that goes out to the radio. This is us talking.
I know you're gonna edit it.
Yeah, you already know, partner. But so what if we make it like the winner gets a percentage of the sales of that particular T-shirt?
Yeah,
of course.
That makes it real.
They get royalties on that design that sells. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of that's what I'm trying to do.
Motivation. That's motivation.
Yeah, and because just like I told Zimmerman, for every design you make, man, you get a portion of the sale. Those are your designs that we're selling. So you got to get a portion of that. You know what I mean? And the more designs you got out there, the more opportunities you have, because we're not limited. This online store is way bigger than Macy's.
And if you offer a prize, a benefit for it, when people submit, it becomes the property of the website.
Yeah.
And that's so. What's motivating people to submit beyond that is the opportunity to get their design and make some money from it, and get their design seen.
What you have to do is a solicitation document, so that for them to give you usage of it. You know what I'm saying? So that it lines up right where it's no, where you're not liable for certain things, and then you want to turn around and if you do use the design, it automatically show what they're getting paid. That they're gonna get a percentage of whatever that contract comes back, and what percentage they get that. As long as they have a tip of it, and just sure that it is ownership. Because people take somebody else's stuff and send it in as well, so you have to be careful with that as well.
Right, exactly.
It has to be done right.
Zimmerman, you really should. But with all those designs that you're sending, you should at least put by Marion Z or whatever. Because I went on Facebook and told them the stuff that I said. We're about to drop. You're our first graphic artist. You're our first artist. And when I put all your stuff up, I already gave you credit for it. You know what I mean? But
do you have any,
like I said, once it goes in the yes, sir.
Do you have any graffiti stuff?
Graffiti? I can do some.
Yeah, because
okay.
Because Because if you look at the design that the other Freaknik organization that they put out, if you look at that, that's kind of like what those young kids are jumping to, and that's the market that we're trying to get to. So you got the old heads, but I don't know. I like dealing with the young people myself. And for other people that's money, we too busy paying bills, And
yeah, right. So understood. But why don't you?
But let me tell you this. Like I said, the stuff that Zimmerman designed, I wear. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm that person. I want to wear Freaknik stuff too. So we gotta just find other designers that do graffiti. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Do you have the stuff that Zimmerman did already?
Oh yeah, I gotta send it to you guys, man. I'm sorry, I got a whole lot of. Zimmerman sent about 30 designs, Rick.
Ron, my point is you got that already. So he can go into some other style. He probably can do that as well. Because if he can do it to deal with him, opposed to dealing with some people you don't know where that stuff come from.
Is it possible to do graffiti in graphics?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, I can do like what they call airbrush style, tattoo style.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a program that does painting. That does digital painting. I can do it with that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we should come up with stuff that nobody else is doing. And I was going to ask you two things, Zimmerman. I think you should send those designs out and let us all at least send you back a likes on them, and then you do whatever you're going to do. But also, I was going to ask you if you knew this artist's work. His name is Basquiat. Basquiat. You ever hear him?
Spell that for me.
God damn, I think it's BSAQ. Oh, God damn. He was.
This will go on the show. This definitely gonna go on the show right here, boy.
He was.
The first time I ever heard anybody spell Tommy Butler. You know what I mean? Good job, D. The first time I heard it, was like, God damn it.
I know why he spelled it right, but he was a contemporary of Andy Warhol. He was a young black guy from Brooklyn. His people were from Haiti, and he was a street graffiti artist. And he was part of the group around Andy Warhol. His work is going for, I said lately, he sold one of his paintings for, he's dead. He died of a heroin overdose in New York City. But one of his paintings sold for $27 million. And he was originally a graffiti artist. So he won't be hard for you to find.
I think I saw a documentary on his works on 60 Minutes or CBS.
Yes. And that there's an actor that did his life story in a movie called Basquiat. And that guy is the guy from remember the movie Shaft with the last movie Shaft. He played the Dominican Samuel Jackson Shaft, the guy that played the Dominican gangster.
Jamaican Andrew, whatever his name is. Arthur.
Yeah, that's him.
Jamaican Arthur.
Huh?
Jamaican Arthur. Yeah.
Can you
hear me?
Yeah, what was that? What'd you say?
Jamaican Arthur.
No, the actor. The actor.
I'm thinking about the wrong thing, because I'm thinking about what's the name of that movie? Malcolm X. That was Jamaican Arthur. The guy.
No, that was Delroy Lindo in Malcolm X.
Okay.
No, this guy is a young guy. He does like an IBM commercial that comes on about what the mind can do and a lot of electronic graphics and things. He's a good actor.
Common?
No, not Common. The other guy, not Common. The other guy. He's a very popular actor. Really cool guy. I run into him at the airport in Atlanta.
Wesley
I
Snipes?
can't think. No. He came after Wesley Snipes, and he's bigger than Wesley Snipes. I don't know if he's richer than Wesley Snipes.
You taking it? I'm just joking, Tommy. I wasn't serious about that.
Yeah. But check him out. That's, if we could do some shit nobody else is doing, push the envelope, man. Push the envelope, because I'm like,
Well, Zimmerman did with a couple of things that offended D. Vincent.
Because we want to put, I intend.
D. Vincent said this is not the kind of stuff that represents our company.
Zimmerman, I want to put your Freaknik stuff on Jay-Z and Beyonce and Kanye West and Kim Kardashian and on and on. So that's where I want to go with it. But we need to give them some stuff that, that's like, oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, he did the platinum and the gold stuff that I said, that I'm gonna upload. But I gotta make sure, I gotta call Custom Cat to see if they do gold ink, because I've never seen gold and platinum ink. That they did anything that anybody did with them yet. So that's on my agenda this week, is to get them a call.
Also colors, man. Just colors. Just do whatever you want to do. Just gotta see it coming, and they're going, oh shit.
Okay.
I gotta have it. And we're gonna put it. My intention is to put it on the red carpet at the Grammys. And
Well, we gotta chip in and get the Zimmerman a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I bet you he'll go.
Yeah, you're asking.
I know you don't drink, do you, Zimmerman? No, I never known you to drink. I just, you get out there once in a while.
Well, then get it for Zimmerman, but send it to me.
Well, guys, I have not been in the house yet. I stayed outside as I drove up from work. I got to let y'all know, man. I was freaking out, man. I thought I had lost my wallet, and I was in Foley, Alabama, or whatever, Florida, whatever. I don't know. But I thought I had lost my wallet. I was freaking out, and I called D&D. Said, hey, man, you should have left it in the car. Then I went to the car, and that's where it was. I went about 3 or 4 different places. I stopped, man, and so I'm feeling.
Cussed out the mayor, the governor, everybody.
Yeah. The guy that I work for, I cussed him out. Motherfucker, I never should have came here today. You know what I mean? And I got to call him, apologize to see if I still got a job. Yeah, I hung up on his ass. Well, he called back, what happened? I said, man, you ain't hear what the fuck I'm saying, bro. And I hung up on him. I don't know if I still have a job after this, so I got to apologize, guys. So I'm going to get off the line. And all right, sir,
I'm out, too. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'll get this stuff edited. And Rick, I'm gonna put it over this music the first time, and because we can always change the music as we get it. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to see how it flows. Is that cool?
Okay. No, Ron is talking about it. I was telling him with the track, I could probably get Frank to redo the track and make it original, so nobody else will be jumping up saying, "Hey, that's mine," because it's on the radio all the time. It was just every night wouldn't be a problem, but my boy Frank, he's going through something right now, and he just been, as soon as he get he come up for air, I get him to do it. It won't take him but a couple of hours to knock something like that out, make something similar to it, if not just,
Okay.
All right, guys. I thank you. Talk to y'all.
Okay,
hey guys, just to let y'all know, this turned out really well. I was not expecting it to go as well as it did. So that means, we got something here, and eventually we would turn this into a show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
what I'm gonna do before you guys leave, I'm gonna send you the information on how to listen back to this recording, and send you the access code to enter to listen back, and that way you can.
Could you get Zimmerman's number while you're on the phone, bro? Z, could you give me your number?
Oh,
so I can hang up.
Yeah.
Tom.
All right.
Thanks, Tom.
Later, y'all. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking for my pen. If I can't find my pen, you may have to text it to me. I had a pen here.
Okay.
I should have more than one pen though, huh? Hey. I should have more than one pen. Wow. Let me get another pen here, brother. Okay.
I'm going to put the phone down for just a second. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, that went well.
Yeah. So you'll be able to listen back to it, Ron, and you can. I think I can email it too. I believe I'm gonna try to email it, and that way you can.
Yeah, definitely need the email.
Yeah.
Then I drop it into I think I can download okay, D, I just sent you Zimmerman's number.
Mhm.
Yeah, you should be getting the recording.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
I just sent it to him, Z.
Oh, you sent it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was able to go to contact, and I forwarded it to him as a VC, whatever that is, VC thing.
Yeah, I need to know what his number is. Pick up. I'm really going to pick up the phone.
Okay. Do you want to share your number?
864-704-6488.
What was the prefix again?
The
area code, I mean?
Yeah, 864. Yeah, I'm in the 864 area code. Mhm.
Yeah, 704-6488.
Yes, sir. That's it.
And Zimmerman, you did get the text with the reference number for the funds, right?
For the what?
For the Walmart thing.
Yes, I did. I got that.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'll talk to y'all soon.
Okay, then y'all have a good one. I enjoyed it.
Okay, now
we stayed on an hour and 36 minutes.
Okay. All right. So
okay.
So that gives us at least because we can do the song, we can loop it for like 10 minutes. So that's about 10 different things, at least 8 good ones out of it.
Yeah, you take excerpts. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, then, gentlemen. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you so much.